Okay, legends, welcome along to another review here. So, I went to see Transformers Rise of the Beasts last night. I'm sort of glad that it let this stew for a little while after watching it. If I had came out of the movie directly after it and recorded this review, it would have been a lot different. Now, I had a great time with the movie. Don't get me wrong, but I've just been sitting thinking about it all morning, and there's a lot to like about this movie. And there's not much to not like about it, but I think it's just the condition of the franchise at the moment more than anything else that's not so much annoying me, but I just feel that from day one on this franchise, I grew up with Transformers. Like, never Generation 1 was originally been aired on television. I was probably 6 or 7 years old at the time. It was just the perfect time for the original cartoon. Big fan of it. And yes, I actually have the whole collection on DVD sitting right here, and I do give that a spin every once in a while, even at 44 years old at this point. But yeah, we'll get into that at the end of this video, where I feel that the franchise has kind of derailed itself from day one. But anyway, this one here, of course, we're getting Beast Wars, been brought into the live action movies with Optimus Primal and that whole crew there. This is mainly their story. They're the nuts and bolts of what's happening in this movie. Essentially, they've been in the situation where they've faced Unicron before. We get Unicron on here as well. And I was kind of thinking to myself, going into this, how the heck are they going to deal with all these elements in one film? They're going to be introducing the Maximals, Beast Wars, and there, along with Unicron. You think that would Unicron not need to potentially be the big villain in a movie where you just have the nuts and bolts set up as far as the Transformers go, instead of trying to introduce a new group along with them? I just thought there was going to be too much for this movie, but Unicron is more the menace, the potential menace in this film. He's not there for a lot of it. You've got Scourge in this one. He's the lieutenant for him. That's his puppet that's going around planets, and the big thing they're trying to get here is, I want to say, the transwarp key. I'm not even going to look it up, to be honest. When I heard the name transwarp key, I just thought, okay. One thing that's been, for me, in the Transformers live action movies has been the complete laziness and actually naming things. So you hear the transwarp, you're just like, okay, they couldn't even bother to come up with a decent name for it. Like, they just pulled that out of Star Trek. You did have transwarp technology in there, so it's just like, okay, we can't be bothered coming up with our own name for something, so we'll just steal it from over here. Some other piece of lazy naming in these movies is the Allspark. Yes, that could have been a hell of a lot of better name for that. Anyway, I digress. So at the beginning of the movie, the Maximals planet has been destroyed. They say it's their planet. I'm trying to recall. I didn't watch much of the original Beast Wars, but they're all Transformers. They originally came from Cybertron. The Beast would have been a future version of the Autobots. Optimus Primal was named after Optimus Prime. So they, if memory serves, went through a portal in the beginning of their series, their cartoon, and wound up in prehistoric Earth, long before the Autobots were awakened in 84, whatever it was, in their timeline. So, like, in the Beast Wars continuity, you actually did see the crashed arc of the Autobots, and they were all deactivated in there. So they've kept true to that in this movie as well. But the planet that's destroyed at the beginning of it obviously isn't Cybertron. It's like another planet similar to Earth. This transwarp key is the the thing that Unicron's after, so he can get to any point of the galaxy and have free run and destroying all these planets. So Scourge is his lieutenant that's trying to get this key for him. But the Maximals escape through this portal, end up on Earth, and eventually meet up with the Autobots, and they have to face Scourge again, and the potential of Unicron coming to destroy Earth. So it's a popcorn movie, and it's a lot of fun. And when we get into present day in this movie, you come across this guy Noah, and the human story in this here isn't overshadowing the Transformers at all. There's a lot of that in the prior movies. It was just like, get away from the humans. We're here to watch Transformers. That's a popcorn movie. We're not here for Shakespeare. We're here to see giant robots kicking 7 shades out of each other. That is a good mixture between the two. You get the human storyline and the Transformers. So this guy Noah, essentially, he was a soldier, a private, and he's not in the army anymore, but he's trying to look after his younger brother, help his mother pay bills and whatnot. His younger brother has this sickle cell problem, and they don't have the finances to actually get him the proper treatment. So he ends up going to this friend of his, and they decide they're going to go steal cars to make money to help his younger brother. But on his first attempt at stealing the car, which turns out to be Mirage, he has an attack of the conscience. He's like, I can't do this, I'm not a thief, or whatever. And at this point, another human character has found half of this transwarp key and has accidentally activated it. And there's this huge beam of light going up through the middle of New York City, essentially, that nobody can see but the Transformers. It's invisible to humans. And of course this gets the attention of Optimus Prime, and he's seeing this as a potential way home. And so everybody ends up together. This girl, she works in this museum. The first part of the key was inside this statue, and when she's testing it, she accidentally breaks it open. And so we get going, and the action of the film, this doesn't just get the attention of Optimus Prime and the Autobots, but it gets the attention of Scourge, who's still out in the galaxy trying to find these keys for Unicron. So that's it. We're starting to come together now in the movie. Optimus Prime, interestingly, in this movie, and I was expecting it going into it this time. In the Bumblebee movie, you didn't see much of Optimus Prime, but he didn't sound right, even though it was Peter Cullen that was voicing Optimus Prime, the legend. When it comes to Optimus Prime, the only person you want voicing that character is Peter Cullen. He was the original from the 1980s, the one we grew up with. To hear that in a brand new movie is fantastic. But in Bumblebee, it just didn't sound right. There was something about it, clearly his voice, but just the inflections and everything just weren't right. So I was actually reading up on that, and I came across this article and it makes a lot of sense now when I've seen Bumblebee and now Rise of the Beast, was the filmmakers been just tight asses, didn't want to pay Peter Cullen for the amount of voice acting that he would have to do, so they got someone else to record Optimus Prime's lines. And obviously they record the lines, and they match up the animation of the movie to the words and whatnot. But they got somebody in to do it on the cheap, recorded all the lines, got it animated and whatnot, then brought Peter Cullen in for a single day on Bumblebee to re-record the lines for Optimus Prime, which is why in that movie, if you know the character from the originals and even the early Michael Bay movies, just doesn't sound right. Even though it's the voice, the inflections are all wrong. So that's the score there. So this has obviously happened in this movie as well. Sounds like Optimus Prime but just the inflections were all off on it. So yes, in the movie, of course, swiftly they swiftly lose that first half of the transwarp key. The Autobots do this before they even meet up with the Maximals. Scourge gets it and tries to take it back to Unicron. There's a little, now for me, having grown up with it, there's a sequence where Scourge calls Unicron thinking he's got the whole key in his hand, and there's a little music cue that is just subtly put in there as this sequence begins, and it calls out Transformers the movie from 1986. Nice little callback for the fans of the series, and I'm just like, that's tasty. Really, really did enjoy that little moment. But of course, Unicron's not happy. This is only half the key, so he tans Scourge's backside, sends him off again. So we get into this whole thing with they have to go searching for the second half of this key. They meet up with the Maximals, the Autobots and Maximals team up together, and Optimus Primal isn't impressed with the legendary Optimus Prime that he was named after. In this movie, you get a younger version of Optimus Prime who is not yet, let's just say, matured into the leader that we would recognise him as. He's just not, he doesn't have any trust in humanity in this movie, and there's a lot of getting that built up within him. You see his character kind of coming together in this movie as well, and becoming more of the Optimus Prime that we know, but also not just the character that we know and love, but that psychopath that Michael Bay turned him into within those first 5 live action movies. So by the end of the movie, we do get the Autobots and Maximals winning out. Of course, you're going to get that, no surprise there. And you also get the introduction of the exosuit. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to get into the whole thing where Noah ends up getting this robotic suit on him, very Tony Stark like. So people's going to get into that. Oh, they're just ripping off the Marvel movies now. But no, the exosuits were actually in Transformers the movie, so they were present in this franchise from at least 1986. But having said that, Iron Man predated that, so they may have taken that influence, but not just as recent as people are going to say when they see this movie. The characters on it, fantastic, really good. You've got Ron Perlman voicing Primal, and Pete Davidson, surprisingly, as Mirage. The character of Mirage in this movie stole all the scenes. And of course you got Bumblebee in there. Everybody loves him. But yeah, Michelle Yeoh, have to shout her out for Air Razor. Great character in this movie. It's definitely one worth going to check out. I'm trying not to just tell you everything that happens in this here, but like I've actually been talking a hell of a lot longer than I was expecting to talk about this movie. But it's maybe not the best of the Transformers movies. I would say, honestly, if I had to rank it anywhere, I'd put it number 2, and my favourite of the live actions. Easily Bumblebee at this point has to be the best Transformers movie made. As I say, this franchise has just swiftly lost its way very shortly after they get into the live action stuff. The underuse of characters has been my main problem with these movies from day one. And I haven't seen this movie. Spoilers at this point, if you're still listening at this point. Spoilers, at the end of this movie, Noah eventually lands on his feet. He gets a job interview where he's told that these people are going to pay all his brother's medical bills, never have to worry financially again. trying to get him signed up. So I was thinking at that point, maybe is it Sector 7, I want to say. You know, you've got that government agency that was hunting the Autobots in the prior movies. But no, it actually turns out to be G.I. Joe at the end of this movie. So obviously at this point, they're planning on turning this into like a Marvel Cinematic Universe sort of setup for the Transformers and bringing in G.I. Joe and our Hasbro product. But for me, the smart money would be as to, at this point, just do a full reboot on the Transformers and do it right from day one, especially with Megatron. Like, in this movie here doesn't have any Decepticons in it. They've got the Autobots, the Maximals are there. They've got the Terracons are in that Unicron, but no Decepticons. But you know, you're thinking throughout this movie, okay, at this point in time, it's set in the mid-90s, and oh, by the way, it was strange to see New York City with the Twin Towers still standing. Just a moment where I was like, ooh, this is weird, just to see a new movie and the Twin Towers there. Anyway, where was I going with that? Yeah, at this point in time, in the continuity of live action movies, obviously the Allspark hasn't been found at this point. Megatron is still frozen inside that dam, and goodness knows where the Decepticons are hiding at this point. But in the prior movies, the biggest problem I had was complete underuse of Megatron. Great character. And what I feel that they need to do, if they're going to start a universe like the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Transformers, is to actually get back there and start a new continuity and show a little bit of respect towards the characters that they're using. Like, at this point, Optimus Prime, although in this movie, just how he looks and he's animated, fantastic, but they couldn't let it be. They had to bring that psychopath Optimus Prime in there whenever he's having his final confrontation with Scourge. It's not the character that we knew as kids, and even in the continuity of newer shows like Transformers Prime and whatnot, even never a psychopath in it either, but in the live action universe, they've just slowly turned him into a nutcase. I don't know, I don't like that for Optimus Prime. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. You know, if you're going to do it, just reset it and do it properly. Anyway, it's a good popcorn movie if you're just going to it for the fact of seeing giant robots kicking each other's backsides. It definitely delivers. It's not Shakespeare, but it's a good time to be had. But as far as building the universe goes, I'm still not impressed with where the live action Transformers have been going at this point. But that's just my humble thoughts on it. But having said all that there, I will see it again. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you on the next one.